Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham and we're live in the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. And over the next few minutes, we'll take you from the United States and around the world, covering all the top stories of the day. But before that, here's a look at the latest headlines. The United States now announces fresh sanctions on oil brokers based in the UAE, Hong Kong, and mainland China over the involvement in Iran's petroleum industry. A bomb blast in southwestern Colombia injures 17 people, including 2 police officials and 3 children, as violence continues amid a fragile peace process. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol faces his final impeachment hearing after plunging his country into political turmoil with a short-lived martial law in December of last year. Taiwan detains a Chinese crude cargo ship after a nearby undersea cable in the sensitive Taiwan Strait gets disconnected. And Starbucks to slash more than 1,000 jobs and eliminate nearly a third of its menu to revive its struggling business in the United States. We begin right here in Washington, D.C., where President Donald Trump hosted his French counterpart, Emmanuel Macron, at the White House on Monday. The two leaders, who shared a friendly relationship during President Trump's first term, sought to find common ground once again. The two leaders laughed, hugged, gripped hands, touched knees, and backslapped. But stark differences were on display as the war in Ukraine became the focal point. In fact, at one point, the commander-in-chief falsely claimed that European nations have been loaning money to Ukraine, which they'll get back. But President Macron stopped him mid-sentence, fact-checking the U.S. president in real time.
Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total efforts, and it was through, like the U.S., loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money, to be clear. We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day and Russia will have paid for that.
If you believe that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President,
they get their money back, we don't, and now we do. But, that's only fair.
The differences between the two leaders were clearly on display during a joint press conference at the White House.
Our focus is on achieving a ceasefire as soon as possible and ultimately a permanent peace. My meeting with President Macron today was another important step forward in that sphere because he's been very much involved right from the beginning in trying to get it over with, and we're going to get it done. I believe that Emmanuel agrees with me on many of the most important issues. Chief among them is this is the right time. It may be the only time,
I think it's good to have discussion. I think it's useful to have negotiation. I think it's super important to go to the peace. But my strong point was to say, let's try to get something first which can be assessed, checked and verified. And let's be sure that we build sufficient guarantees on the short run. And this is where we are ready to be engaged. As for France, a lot of my European colleagues are ready to be engaged. But we do need this American backup because this is part of the credibility of the security guarantees. And this is our collective deterrence capacity.
Meanwhile, social media erupted with theories suggesting President Trump tried to humiliate President Macron on several occasions. Users couldn't help but notice Donald Trump's absence as he sought to send a White House employee to welcome the French president. And in another instance, Macron appeared to perch on the corner of Trump's desk while the president sat comfortably in his chair during a Zoom call. However, even after such moments, both leaders aligned on one thing, a peace deal to end the Russia-Ukraine war that they hoped was just a few weeks away. And President Trump and Macron's meeting comes as America and Russia are set to hold a follow-up meeting in Riyadh on Tuesday, a week after their foreign ministers met for peace talks. And after long verbal clashes with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Donald Trump has signaled meeting him at the White House in the coming weeks. And staying in the United States, Indian-American biotech billionaire Vivek Ramaswamy launched his campaign for governor of Ohio on Monday. Announcing his candidacy, Ramaswamy said he spent the last year to help send President Donald Trump back to the White House, and now he's ready to lead Ohio to become the top state in the nation.
President Trump is reviving our conviction in America. We require a leader here at home who will revive our conviction in Ohio. And that is why today I am honored to announce that I am running to be the next governor of a great state at the heart of the greatest nation known to mankind, the state where I was born and raised, the state where Apurva and I raise our two sons today, a state whose best days are still ahead. I am honored to announce my candidacy to serve as the next governor of the state of Ohio. We want to build a coalition. The movement starts today, of Ohioans, black or white, man or woman, urban or rural, even Democrat or Republican. If you care about economic excellence and educational excellence, then join us, because we're going to be working together to take our state to new heights.
And shortly after Ramaswamy's announcement, President Donald Trump endorsed him on his social media platform, Truth Social. Trump called him a young, strong, and smart candidate for Ohio. And Ramaswamy ran against President Trump in 2024, but dropped out and endorsed Donald Trump.
God is real. There are two genders. Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity. Reverse racism is racism. An open border is not a border. Parents determine the education of their children. The nuclear family isn't a bad word. It's the greatest form of governance known to mankind. Capitalism isn't something we should apologize for. It's what lifts us up from poverty, not crony capitalism, but the real thing.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump's close ally Elon Musk also voiced his support for Ramaswamy. The biotech billionaire was tapped by President Trump in November to co-lead the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. But Ramaswamy recently ended his short stint to throw his hat back in the political ring. And the duo had previewed plans to slash federal spending by $2 trillion. However, as Donald Trump's inauguration neared, Ramaswamy's future in DOGE became more uncertain. This after he criticized American values and clashed with hardline MAGA supporters over the H-1B visa, sparking massive controversy. Ramaswamy bowed out of the DOGE task force in January amid a reported rift with Elon Musk, which he later dismissed. In fact, last month, several reports suggested that the world's richest man wanted to be solely in charge of DOGE. And reports said that Elon Musk made it known to his inner circle that he wanted Ramaswamy out. Apparently, Ramaswamy irked many in Trump's team for various reasons, and they pushed for the billionaire's exit. However, in an effort to dispel the rumors of dissension and additional palace intrigue, Elon Musk this month hosted a live audio discussion on X with Ramaswamy calling him governor. And Elon Musk once again finds himself in an utterly bizarre spectacle, having his feet licked by President Donald Trump. Well, this is not in reality, but in an AI-generated video that mysteriously hijacked monitors at the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The surreal clip, looping endlessly, showed Musk basking in the attention while the words, "Long live the real king," flashed ominously. Was this an elaborate prank or just a glimpse into an alternative reality? Our next report uncovers the truth behind the digital chaos.
Elon Musk was never elected, never sworn in, never received a single vote. Yet he seems to be wielding more power than any government official. He slashes budgets, silences critics, and commands global attention with a single tweet. And now, in a twist, his influence took a surreal turn that even played out on government monitors in the form of an AI-generated video where President Donald Trump was seen worshipping his feet. As bizarre as it sounds, the digital saga began on Monday morning. Employees at the Department of Housing and Urban Development arrived to find their office televisions looping a disturbing AI-generated video. The clip featured Trump licking and caressing Musk's toes, underlined with the bold proclamation, "Long live the real king." A clear reference to Trump's recent Truth Social post in which he crowned himself. Yet the imagery suggested otherwise. Musk was the one being worshipped. An HUD spokesperson, Casey Lovett, condemned the incident, calling it a waste of taxpayer dollars. But online, reactions ranged from horror to hilarity. "Buy the hero all the beers," one user quipped. Others joked that Musk would storm the building, wielding his infamous CPAC chainsaw, ready to eliminate inefficiencies one monitor at a time.
So thank you very much.
While President Trump may sit in the Oval Office, his power seems to be more symbolic than functional. And time and again, the billionaire has been seen making executive decisions, cutting budgets, and even restructuring agencies as if he were the true commander-in-chief. The White House insists he's not an official government employee. Yet, Musk is leading the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, a made-up yet powerful entity operating solely by executive order. His goal? Slice $500 billion in spending. But despite lacking legal authority, Musk moves through Washington like a shadow king. And a recent press conference made this painfully clear. Musk dominated the room while Trump sat silent at his desk. The French press called it surreal. The Guardian labeled it a toxic bromance. MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell called it the most powerless image of a president.
His name is Elon Musk. He saved free speech. He created...
But Trump, for now, remains his buddy's biggest fan, praising him for his so-called commendable work. The president said Elon is doing a good job. And that dynamic is also undeniable. Musk takes action, Trump nods in approval, and eventually Washington bends to their will. But amid all the appreciation and backing up, there is a growing tension. Trump is known to turn on allies who overshadow him. So how long until Musk crosses that line? And when will he decide that being the power behind the throne isn't enough?
And moving to the Middle East, where in the heart of the Arabian desert, a new battle is underway in the United Arab Emirates. The battle is not against an armed power, but against the relentless absence of rain amid scorching heat and sandstorms. For decades, millions of dollars have been poured into the efforts to bring rain to the oil-rich nation, yet natural rain remains a rarity. The Middle Eastern country has either witnessed extreme rainfall due to climate change or no rain at all with extremely dry conditions. In fact, last year, a few days of record rain flooded some of the major highways in Dubai, with cars submerged and pedestrians navigating their way through waist-deep water.
The water level just kept rising. It was coming out of our drainage, basically. So we are guessing there's some kind of blockage, which the guys are here, authorities are here clearing out, helping us to do it. I know it's a lot of work and they're doing their best right now to just get it out. I don't know how long it's going to take. We're all waiting, trying to see what's going to happen.
And to maintain a balance of rainfall received throughout the year, the United Arab Emirates is now turning to artificial intelligence. At last month's International Rain Enhancement Forum, experts revealed an AI-driven system will be designed to improve cloud seeding. However, the project, scientists admitted, is no magic solution, and cloud seeding only works with certain types of clouds. If done incorrectly, it could even suppress rainfall.
I would say we still have some work to do just because we have data, but not enough data to train models correctly. We need to be careful and should try to find the right balance between artificial intelligence and human intelligence. Do not go too fast to artificial intelligence. Humankind is probably the best option.
With only about 100 milliliters of annual rainfall, the UAE relies heavily on desalinated water. Yet for agriculture and industry, the country still needs rain to replenish its groundwater reserves. Since launching its rain enhancement program back in 2017, the UAE has invested $22.5 million in grants seeking breakthroughs in weather modification. In fact, hundreds of cloud seeding flights are conducted every year, yet success remains elusive.
Cloud seeding is considered the second hardest challenge for pilots. When there is a cloud, we try to figure out the way we need to go in and out of it in order to avoid thunderstorms and hail.
Cloud seeding increases approximately 10 to 30% of the yearly rainfall rate. Therefore, it increases water reserves, which is made available for the whole country.
Despite AI's promise, many scientists remain cautious, and the UAE's dream of harnessing AI to make it rain is tantalizingly close. But will technology finally conquer the desert's stubborn skies, or will nature once again remind scientists of its unpredictability? And today we end on the red planet Mars. Turns out Mars wasn't always the dusty, desolate rock it's known for today. It may have been the ultimate off-world beach. In fact, scientists have uncovered evidence of ancient shorelines, complete with waves and sandy beaches, suggesting the red planet was home to a massive ocean billions of years ago. So was Mars once a paradise? Our final report explains.
Move over, Ibiza. Nearly 4 billion years ago, Mars was the place to be. Sun-soaked beaches? Check. Rolling waves? Absolutely. A chance of extraterrestrial neighbors? Possibly. If only real estate agents had been around back then. We would all be dreaming of oceanfront villas on the red planet instead of cramped and overpriced apartments on Earth. Scientists from the United States and China have now discovered what appears to be the clearest evidence yet that Mars once had a vast northern ocean, complete with sandy beaches. Their findings, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, suggest that Mars was a much wetter and, dare we say, chiller place than we give it credit for today. Using data from China's Zhurong rover, researchers probed beneath the Martian surface in an area called Utopia Planitia, hoping to dig up some juicy secrets. About 10 to 35 meters below ground, they discovered 76 hidden structures. Unfortunately, they were not alien condos, but sedimentary deposits eerily similar to those found on Earth's beaches. Benjamin Cardenas, a geology professor from Pennsylvania and co-author of the study, said, and I quote, "We found evidence for wind, waves, and no shortage of sand, a proper vacation-style beach." In other words, Mars wasn't always a cold and barren wasteland. It once had real beachfront property, the kind real estate moguls would fight over today. The evidence points to a stable ancient ocean, with tides and waves gently depositing sediments, much like they do along Earth's coastline. The formations, known as foreshore deposits, slope down at a 15-degree angle just like their terrestrial counterparts. Translation: Mars once had water, and not just a puddle or two, but oceans. Forget the static, lifeless rock we see today. Mars was once dynamic. Rivers flowed, sediments shifted, and landscapes changed. According to researchers, this suggests that the planet had a warm and wet climate for millions of years. Not exactly the Bahamas, but a significant improvement from today's dusty and bone-dry conditions. Researchers of the study explain, and I quote, "When we look at early Earth, life started in the interaction between land and water. So finding ancient beaches on Mars paints a picture of a past environment that could have supported microbial life." In other words, if aliens did exist on Mars, they might have been living it up by the shore, sipping on some intergalactic equivalent of pina colada. Of course, before you start packing your bags for a beach holiday on Mars, let's be clear. That ship, or spaceship, has sailed. The planet's atmosphere is now too thin to hold on to liquid water, and those dreamy beaches are buried under layers of dust. So while the dream of sunbathing on Mars remains firmly in the past, these discoveries bring us one step closer to understanding whether the planet once hosted life, and whether it could again in future. Until then, we just will have to settle for our earthly beaches, no matter how overpriced the cocktails.
That's First Post America for this Tuesday. I'm Eric Ham signing off from our studios in Washington, D.C. Thanks everyone for tuning in.